Basketball Talk Pro. We have a very mysterious type of subject. It is a subject, though, that I brought you to it 2 months ago. And I said at that time there's more that we needed to talk about. We were showing you an improvisation drill and how that drill could build the cuts and the work of the screener. And even farther back than that, I read to you a story about a archery master in Japan, and he made this incredible shot, 2 shots, 2 arrows, where he he couldn't see the target. It was dark. It was pitch black. And when he got done, I looked at where the arrows went. The first arrow went right in the middle of the bullseye. The second one split the arrow that was in the bullseye. And he said, "I can't take credit for that shot." And these were his words: "It shot, and it hit." Now, in ancient Far Eastern working with skills of any kind, you hear the word "it" quite a bit. They won't tell you what it means. But it's neither here nor there for our discussion tonight, except for one thing, that it is something for us to strive for. If they could train, and in the book, Zen and the Art of Archery, they show you the training. If they can do that and have such outstanding skill, then we need to look at that type of training. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that tonight, and I call it feeling. And feeling is the secret, as the title says. But feeling, in our way of looking at it in this particular video, will be pretty specific to basketball skills. Well, there's really 2 things. If you have anything to do, whether it's bake a cake or whether to go to get a pizza or not, or you're deciding how you want to take the shot, how you want to get open for the shot, you are making decisions. You are deciding that. That's one way. Or you can feel what you should do. Feeling and deciding have 2 characteristics that are different. When you say you're deciding what to do, you're thinking about what to do. And when you think about what to do, you're going to get all kinds of thoughts flying through your mind at a blinding speed, but still having an effect on how you perform. And so, feeling, though, on the other hand, happens almost instantaneously, without thinking. So there are no conscious thoughts. You simply are doing it by how you feel. And feeling can be immensely accurate and terrifically fast. And that's why it fits well with basketball, because it's a fast sport. So how do you get so that you can feel what to do rather than decide what to do or think about what to do? That's the subject that we are looking at tonight, because we actually drew up the drill I'm going to draw up tonight before for the same reason. But it gets us closer to it. And we'll never know what it really is. And I'm not certainly going to delve into it. But it does get us a lot closer. There is a method, and it's everything we've talked about in Basketball Talk Pro for the 4 years we've been in existence. Nothing has changed. We have a system, we stay with it. We have proven methods, we stay with them. But this is going a step deeper into the teaching and training of it. In training, there's really 3 phases, if you look at it clearly. I'm going to walk you through those 3 phases tonight. But the first phase is learning. Learning is going through the process of the coach telling you how to do it, showing you how to do it, then you try to do it, and you learn constantly. Because if you do it this way on this particular time, and it doesn't work real well, then you make an adjustment. And through those adjustments, you finally get to a stage where things are right. I call that the integrating stage. That's the second phase. Because in the integrating, and I'll show you on the board, it'll be a little clearer, you're taking it into you. It's part of you. And then the third phase is when it becomes automatic. That's where the feeling part comes in. But you need to train for that. That master who shot those arrows had trained for 20 years. The man who wrote the book trained for 5 years. 3 years, the first 3 years, he trained shooting an arrow into a bale of hay 10 feet in front of him without a target to work on his mental and his physical technique. But the mental technique was much more important than the physical, and it required feeling. So I'm going to go to the yellow board now, and I want to quickly walk you through the steps, those phases that you need to take, maybe not to get where it's it, but get to where your players are playing instinctively. You will increase the ability of your players dramatically if you can teach them how to be instinctive. The great players, the thing that separates the great players from the ones that are almost great players is instincts. The great players have terrific instincts. How did they get them? We don't know. They learned it somewhere along the way. But we can show you how they can learn it, how you can put them into a position where they are working from feeling versus deciding. Let's go to the yellow board now. Okay, we're going to use the simple improvisational drill that I showed you about two months ago. It's our screen away drill. It's the first offensive drill that we teach our players. It's a terrific drill to show the movements and the ways to cut and the movements of the screener on a screening situation and a cutting situation. There are 4 different maneuvers that we show. This is just regular screen, go to the top of the key, roll to the basket. This is back cut, this is curl, and this is slipping the screen. Don't worry about that right now. That is not what we're trying to put together now, but we use this drill. So let's take the phases, and remember this, what I'm going to do now and what you can do with your team is some of these steps come very quickly. Just depends, and I'll talk about that. But the feeling phase takes a long time, just like it took that archer a long time, years, to gain that great skill mentally and physically. So, as a coach, this is how you should present it to your players. 1 square at a time. This is the first square. You show them this. And the drill, by the way, is in my book, or it's on videos. You can go into the archive and see the drill run and show how the drill is managed. I'm not going to go into that here. So let's just take that. First time you're with them and presenting, you present this drill and you practice it, practice it, practice it. You change sides and practice it from different sides. You don't worry about these right now. We're in the learning phase. When you feel comfortable with this, it could be the same day you introduce it. It could be a week from now. If you have players coming back that know this thing, you can probably get into more things the first day. But let's just assume you get this down. Now, you go to the second block, and you do the same thing. The same maneuver. Pass through the whole same thing. Practice, practice, practice that. Now you have 2 things that you haven't mastered, but you've learned what to do. These players are learning what they're going to need to do. You don't need to say much. They'll figure it out if you tell them to back cut. They'll figure the footwork out, the technique. If they get bizarre, then you got to step in and correct them. Now you've got that done. Then you go to this, you get this down. Then you go to this, and you get this down. That is the learning phase right there in this particular drill. Now the integrating phase, second phase, is when you tell them, now from now on, you can do any of these 4 things you want. You make the choice. You determine which one you want to run. That's all you have to tell them. But tell them this, and I ask you to tell it almost exactly in the words that I'm going to say to you. And you want them to, when you've told them, you can do any of these that you want. You have to react accordingly if you're the screener. Then tell them you cannot make a mistake. This is incredibly important. Take the fear and the doubt out of being censured by the coach saying you did that wrong, you know, and almost like you're a dummy. You take all of that away when you say you cannot make a mistake. Let them do it. Let them try it. That's how they learn, not how what you say. You think, you know, you're a smart guy, so you think, well, I'm going to say these things. They're glorious things I say. But what they're learning is what by doing it. So now you give them that freedom because you say, you cannot make a mistake. The greatest words I've ever learned in coaching. So, now you practice. You practice night after night. You let them, they keep learning, they keep adding, they keep finding. What they're doing is starting to feel what they're doing. And you're helping them by correcting them, minimal corrections, nothing threatening. Be careful you don't threaten them. You know, get mad, get angry, frustrated, stay gentle with them. So now they're doing this over and over and over again. And we do it night after night, month after month, maybe. There'll come a time, though, that in this phase, you tell them this. Don't think about which move you're going to make. Feel the move you are going to make. Tell them that don't predetermine this cut. Don't even think about it. Keep your mind blank and just let your body and your brain give you that feeling that this is what I should do, or this is what I should do. But it isn't in a form of a voice or a command or a determination. It is a feeling. Then, when you have done that, now you watch and you see what this guy is doing when he comes in. He's stepping in like he's supposed to, but you can tell he's thinking. He's thinking, should I go over? Should I go back? Or what, what does the coach wants me to do? What am I, if I go back, I might make a fool out of myself. All those things. Watch, and then eventually one day, the guy is going to come in there without thinking and make a back cut and get open for a layup. And it isn't the getting open the layup, it's that you could tell that he was feeling what to do. That's the time to tell him, now you felt right. You did it by feel. Make sure he understands. Now, you don't have to run this drill only, but after you get all of that in this drill, almost every other drill that we have on offense will be easy, because they will have learned, gone through all those three stages. And now you say we're going to do it with a screen down. Oh, all these things are there. Now we're going to do it on a split. All these things are there. Same things. The same mental things. Now we're going to do it on our automatic drill. We're going to run an automatic drill. Same thing. And I don't care where you go. You can go to the Golden State Warriors. If you can do those things, they'll be happy with you, because that's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. Nothing else. There's no magic in what they're doing. Study them. You'll see. They make this cut and pop, make this cut and they roll. You get a lot of baskets just doing that. But they're doing it with feel. Some thinking, but a lot of just by feel. This is a big part of playing an instinctive way and an improvisational way. Golden State is a great team that has taken it to a new level and shown the NBA that this is a better way. This is a lot better way. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.